good afternoon to my Eagle Connection Career Group. This is Mrs. Ackland, and today is Monday, April 20th, 2015. I am out at PSSA's for this week, so for today's live session, we are doing a recorded session instead. Right? The topic of today's session is applying for a job. I'm going to give you guys, in our K-mail, I've given you a link to a recording all about a job interview, so you can take a look at that link. It's all about the job. It's a recording all about a job interview, so please refer back to the K-mail at this time and watch that YouTube video. All right, today's goals for this lesson are to explain the key points of an application, a resume, and references, and to explain the key tips for an interview. Researching a job opening. Once you've found an interesting job opportunity, you need to do some research before you apply and interview. Some job listings are blind, meaning you don't know the name of the company that placed the ad. For listings where the employer is given, find out everything that you can about the company. What is its mission? What goods or services does it provide? What is its reputation? Who is in charge? Also, be sure you know about the specific position that has been advertised. Review the ad and the company website and check the Occupational Outlook Handbook for the duties, responsibilities, and pay range. Let's take a look at the application next. A job application isn't all that different from the one that you filled out, if you have filled one out for college. It will ask you for personal information, for your educational background, any job skills that you might have, any work experience that you might have, and finally references. And as with a college application, your signature on the form guarantees that all of the information is truthful. So be sure to read it carefully and to make sure that everything is accurate. Whether you're filling out a paper application or an online form, make a copy for your records. So if you're filling it out online, you want to click that print button and make sure you print what you filled out. This will save you time later because most job applications ask for the same information. Let's talk a little bit about references. Okay, so there's two categories of references, personal and professional. A personal reference is any adult who can vouch for your character and integrity. A professional reference is someone who can speak to your skills, work ethic, knowledge, and experience. So this could be anybody. It could be me. It could be any teacher, a counselor, or somebody that you have worked for or with. Here are a couple of guidelines about obtaining a reference. Ask permission before you list someone as a reference. Ask for the reference by letter, email, or phone call. Give your reference a brief description of the position so that your reference can emphasize your personal character or work experience. Okay, and it's nice to just give them a heads up that they're going to possibly be receiving a phone call about you so that they aren't caught off guard. The unintended reference, this image right here is kind of funny looking. You may have heard that many employers will search the internet to find out about potential employers. So that's what the unintended reference is. Posting inappropriate photos or statements on a site that is open to the public, for example, Facebook is the first one that comes to my mind, or allowing your friends to do so really can hurt you. Be sure that nothing on your site will embarrass your potential employer or cost you a job offer. So what is a resume? A resume is a document that describes in 1 or 2 pages your personal, professional, and educational qualifications, as well as your work experience. It allows companies to quickly sort through and compare job applicants. So you really want to make a good first impression. Your resume is the first contact that a potential employer will have with you. It could mean the difference between getting an interview or being passed over. Okay, there are many different not many, but there are several different resume formats. Um, the most common type of resume is a chronological resume, and the name sort of describes what it is. You're listing everything in chronological order. Employers can see your job history and your growth easily. This format works well if most or all of your jobs have been in the same field, or if you have no large gaps in your job history. Okay? The second type that we'll look at is functional. If you're just starting your career and haven't held many jobs, or if you're switching fields, or if you're re-entering the workplace after an absence, a functional resume will highlight your skills and abilities rather than your work history. Okay, and you guys can maybe pause the recording and take a look at this in more detail. The cover letter. When you submit your resume, you will include a cover letter with it. This gives you the opportunity to tell your employer who you are, why you want the position, and why you should be chosen for it. Remember, most job listings attract many applicants. The cover letter is your best chance to get an employer excited about reading your resume. Okay, you can explain why you chose to apply for this job, and just really grab their attention. Okay, so if and when you do get that interview, you want to definitely be prepared. Hopefully you've already researched the company even before you applied, but if you haven't, definitely do some research. Do more research. Be prompt and professional. Make sure that you're organized. Have questions about the job and the business. So have questions prepared to ask the person that's interviewing you. And you can even practice your interview with someone. Okay, so here are some common interview questions. Tell me something about yourself that isn't included on your resume. Okay, so this would be a question that you could possibly prepare for ahead of time. You may or may not be asked this exact question, but it's good to try and think of some possible questions and think about how you would answer them so that you're not caught off guard when you actually get to an interview. Let's look at the next one. Why do you want to work for us? What is it about this position in particular that interests you? What special skills or strengths would you bring to this job? In what areas do you think you have room for improvement? And this one is definitely a tricky one. You want to make sure you answer the question, but definitely I wouldn't highlight any big weaknesses that you have, because you remember you still want to get the job. So you'd have to think about a clever answer for that question. Okay, so we're finally at the end of this lesson. Lessons go pretty quickly when we don't have that back and forth um, of you guys asking me questions and making comments and things like that. When it's me talking, it goes a lot quicker. So you're going to be filling in the third box on your fourth quarter performance task PowerPoint. What are some questions that you would want to ask a potential employer? I love this question. I love this prompt. This is really a great thing for you to be thinking about even right now. So it says, prepare for your next job. Write out 3 questions that you would ask the employer about the job or the business. So you might be expecting that in an interview you're going to be only answering questions, but it really is a back and forth. So you need to have some questions prepared. So when you're thinking about this, you're going to really have to just pretend that you're interviewing for a specific job and then make up the questions that would go with that, since we don't have an actual interviewing situation. So think of your dream job maybe and pretend like you're on an interview for that job and write out your questions in that way. Okay, so until next time, we're not going to do the exit ticket because this is an asynchronous lesson, but next time the lesson is going to be going to work. So again, I am so sorry that I wasn't in class with you guys today. If you have any questions throughout the week, please always feel free to Kmail me. I will be checking Kmail every evening. I hope you guys have a great week.